Here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? It's No Pants Friday. All right, I'm not going to lie. I am wearing pants today. I feel like I've betrayed all of you. I've betrayed myself in my heart.
I'm the one that usually wears pants anyway, so we're good.
He's also wearing pants, but I mean, technically, Muji, you're wearing shorts, so you're basically the one that showed up here with no pants on.
I'm wearing shorts and one leg, so we're good.
There you go. There you go. So it's No Pants Friday, but we are in Grand Rapids right now for a conference. We have an awesome special guest here, Muji Karim of Muji Blades. And we'll be getting more into that. Welcome, everybody. I know it's a different time, so we might not have as many people here live as we usually do because we're a lot earlier today. I see hip flipping mama in the house. Anyway, welcome, guys. So we are here for a conference. It's called World Burn Congress. So I was thinking that, Vicki, you might want to explain to everybody what that even is, because I'm sure a lot of them have no clue what the heck we're talking about.
Probably most of you have no clue what we're talking about. So I've been working with or volunteering with an organization called the Phoenix Society that is based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan for about 15 years now. And the Phoenix Society is a nonprofit organization that works with people from all around the world, basically, mostly US based, but we do have people that come from all different countries that work with burn survivors. So basically people that have been injured in some way, shape, or form with a burn injury, and also firefighters and EMS and first responders and burn care professionals. So nurses, doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, anybody that works with the burn community. And what it does is it's an organization that helps create a safe atmosphere for burn survivors to meet other burn survivors, to help move forward with their recovery, reintegrate into society, into a quote normal life and lifestyle again, and also help them work with all of the issues that surround a burn injury. A burn injury is something that is a lifelong injury, and you will be dealing with it and its ramifications for your entire life, not just in the physical recovery, but there's a lot of emotional recovery that goes along with it. And so what the Phoenix Society does is it brings together people once a year for a congress or conference that allows burn survivors to come from all over the world to meet other burn survivors and be in a safe place, in a safe space, get to know one another and feel like they have a sense of community and belonging. And that is probably one of the biggest portions of the emotional recovery, is finding and meeting other people that understand you and understand your journey. And this is our 30th burn conference. It was an organization that was founded by a burn survivor. And that's it in a nutshell. That's really what it is.
Well, and kind of like eBay Open, it seems like the number one thing that people really like is just the networking and hanging out with each other and socializing. It's like we get to meet up once a year and hang out with our friends kind of thing.
It's like the sense of community in the same way that we have our eBay family. We have our burn family. So it doesn't matter whether you're a burn survivor or a family member of a burn survivor or friend of a burn survivor, or you care for burn survivors in a medical role. It touches you in your life somehow. So it's just people come year after year after year, and a lot of it is not necessarily for the courses or the classroom or the teaching parts, the seminars and things like that. A lot of it is just to hang out and socialize with our friends like Muji.
Well, I'm not a burn survivor, but because I'm connected to you, if you want to recap really, really quick, why you even got involved with burn.
Yeah, so back in 2003, there was a large fire in Rhode Island called the Station Nightclub Fire. There was a rock band playing, and 100 people perished in a nightclub that burned. And there were several hundred survivors. I happen to be one of the survivors. Don't consider myself a burn survivor per se. I don't have any scars. I did have some burns, but I did recover. I didn't have any surgeries or spend any significant time in the hospital. My only lasting issue is I do have some lung damage, which is not that big of a deal. But because of that, I was exposed to the burn community as a whole. I had a lot of friends that were severely injured. And I started a nonprofit organization back east that helped work with the survivors of the fire and the families of those that didn't survive. So I've been working with the burn community for since that fire, and I have found that burn survivors and their families are like my people. And you know, they're some of the strongest and most resilient people I've ever met in my life. And I love what I do. So I'll be involved with the burn community for as long as I'm able to be.
So now Muji's one of your people, and he's one of my
Muji's
people,
one of my
right?
Yeah, now he's one of he pretends that he likes you too, so you know.
Yeah.
I like these guys, I promise. You want me to tell a little bit about my story, or?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, on August 21st, 2011, I was a passenger in a vehicle when we lost control and it hit a tree. The car was described as exploded on impact, and I was trapped inside for about an hour. And as a result, suffered 3rd and 4th degree burns on my legs and my left hand. See, this leg isn't real, if you haven't noticed. And all requiring some form of amputation. Actually, when they got me out of the car, when they finally got me out, I wasn't breathing, and on the way to the hospital, flatlined again. Another time that weekend, I was in an ICU burn unit for 2 months, where I underwent 2 surgeries a week for the 2 months straight that I was there. And pretty much the first year after my accident, I was in and out of the hospital with different surgeries or infections and stuff like that. And I had been a college football player, and I had ran track and played basketball. I was a scholarship athlete in all 3. And you could imagine the sort of mental crisis going on in my head, being this athlete. And that was a big part of my identity of who I was, really, being an athlete. You can imagine the mental crisis going on, and it was those thoughts that bothered me and gave me the most sort of depression and down times. You know, would I be able to walk? Would I be able to run or be active? And really, who am I? Because my identity was attached to that sort of athletic, being an athlete, and so I had to sort of figure out who I was and what I was, and this. To circle it back to the Phoenix Society, and my accident was in 2011. My first World Burn Congress was in Milwaukee in 2012, and exactly what you just said about, you know, just going there and meeting people, and I didn't know anybody who was a burn survivor. I didn't know anybody who was an amputee, and when I got there, I met 100 of them, and we all spoke the same language, and it's, you know, just speaking about the grafts and the burns and things like that that are so foreign to normal, whatever, people who aren't experienced burns.
Two-legged freaks.
Yeah, two-legged freaks. Don't say it. I got kicked out of conference almost for saying that. Assholes. And I've been to, this is my 7th one in a row. So I've been to all of them, and I haven't, I guess at the beginning I would go to all of the classes and I would try to learn stuff and do that. But then I realized that I was going to learn through my life experiences. So I don't really attend a lot of the class now. I've taught a couple of them and been in the breakout sessions, but I come here to hang out with these guys and just see my friends again for that one time, the annual time of the year that you spoke of, coming here and hanging out, you know, with these guys and laughing and joking, and we're all healing together. And so that's why I'll be at, you know, all of these, and I'll do everything that I can for the burn community and the amputee community.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like it, you know, this world kind of overlaps all kinds of other worlds, because Shelley Robbins, who I see in our chat all the time, she says that her father and brother are both burn survivors. That her dad had 2nd and 3rd degree over upper half, and her brother too, but they were separate incidents.
Wow.
So, I mean, it seems like
and Shelley understands that. I mean, like, a burn injury is a life injury, and it's something that affects you in every aspect of your life or the rest of your life.
Yes, and you don't realize how much it affects your family, because I was the one that was in a coma. I was the one that was hurt. I had all of this stuff going on, but my mother was the one who had to sign a paper saying it was okay to amputate my legs. You know what I mean? She's the one that was my proxy and had making all these decisions, and I was in a coma for 3 weeks. So, you know, she was the one going to bed at night and wondering if I was going to survive and stuff like that. So it affects your families as much as it does anybody. I mean, I would always rather it would be me that gets hurt than any of my loved ones, because I feel like I can overcome things, and maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm not, but I feel that way. But, you know, and I was in an accident with my brother, so both of us were in the hospital, both of us were hurt, both of us were given slim chances to live. So my mom and my friends and everybody that had to live with that, and so they all come to the the world burn. I've had friends come to the dances and all that stuff because they were all affected by what happened to me as well. So that's, having family members that go through it is just as difficult as, you know, the actual person that is facing the obstacle.
I've had people say to me over the years that, you know, my other friends that are burn survivors. So I was with 4 people that day, and only, you know, there were 5 of us all together, and only 4 of us came out of that building. And I was the only one that was not critically injured and didn't spend significant time in the hospital. So there is something that, you know, survivor guilt is a real thing. And it's very debilitating at times. And one of the things that my friends that are survivors and I have spoken about very openly, and it's been 15 years, so we've done a lot of work on ourselves since then. But, you know, one of the things that we talk about openly is that a lot of those of us that have the survivor guilt, we're the ones that were not the most injured. But the ones that were injured, such as yourself and your injury, you know, your brother is somebody that probably suffers with that because he wasn't injured in the same way that you were. Or because you did have your injuries and your life is about trying to survive and move forward and thrive and survive, you don't have that type of guilt. So that's something that's one of the mental obstacles that you didn't have to necessarily overcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like my friends that were injured didn't have any guilt because they were the ones that were injured. So it's a whole mental obstacle that that was, I don't want to say eliminated, and I'm not saying it's anywhere near what you guys had to go through as far as the physical part. But the mental is sometimes not talked about as much.
Well, I'm glad you actually said that, because I think it's as difficult mentally as it is physical. For me, physical part was easy, and that's crazy saying that after losing your legs and your hand, but getting your mind in the right place, and just the whole purpose and why and all that. And you said earlier you didn't have any physical scars, but I'd almost rather have a physical scar than a mental scar, really, because it's
then people know there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, what you said, I just wanted to recover. I was thinking, I had this tunnel vision of trying to walk and get up and live my life. So there was no time or energy for anything else. It was just focused on that. And then when I started walking and started running and started doing stuff like that, then that's when sort of the mental whole, you know, why did this happen? What is, you know, where am I going? Started to kick in, because I wasn't as worried about walking. You know what I mean? I started walking, I started running. So then it was like, now what? You know what I mean? And it was, I had to face that sort of mental hurdle. And it's something that today is still an obstacle for me at times. So knowing it and admitting it and talking about it is something that helps me. And when I do it, it helps other people, and that sort of gives purpose to the whole thing.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the most important things, is being able to find the purpose.
It's the very most important thing. Out of it all.
Yeah, once you have something that is, you know, a life-affecting incident, whatever it may be, whether it's an injury or it's cancer or it's somebody close to you dying or whatever, everybody has obstacles in life. So once you find something that's life-altering that happens to you, and God willing, something like that never happens to you, but if it does, I think the most important thing to come out of that, or to bring out of that, is what is your purpose? And the one thing that I have found, and Muji is one of those people that is one of the most inspiring burn survivors I've ever met, for many reasons. But one of the things that I've found by working with the burn community is that so many of the burn survivors that I know and have met have gone on to not just survive, but thrive, and have gone on to be more, do more, and be better and be more than they may have had they never had that happen to them. I think there's something about that reaffirmation of life, that finding your purpose, whatever it may be, because I will be the first person to tell you that 15 years ago, I was a single mom, I was a mortgage broker, wearing a business suit, driving a Lexus, didn't give a crap about anything except my job and my friends and my money and whatever. And I was, you know, as tunnel visioned and selfish as anybody else in the world. It's just human nature. It's what we are. It's what a lot of people are. I gave to charity here and there. I'd, you know, throw a couple bucks in a collection bin at Salvation Army or at church or what have you. But I wasn't somebody that was involved in charity work. It wasn't something that ever crossed my mind. You know, I would go and once in a while donate some time at a homeless shelter and maybe hand out meals on Thanksgiving. And that was the extent of my involvement in any type of charity work. And I think that that's the way a lot of people are. And you write a check here or there, and that's fine. But I have found that for me, working in the burn community and doing and volunteerism and paying it forward is really what drives me. And that's my purpose.
Absolutely. Hip flipping mama Kelly is referring to Muji as that sexy stud. Apparently,
He is pretty damn sexy.
apparently she likes your smile, Muji.
Thank you.
Don't act shy.
he's-
You know you're not
he's
shy.
gonna never heard that before.
I'm just gonna stay like this the whole time.
He is not shy. Look at him. He's all blushing. It's fake. So fake. He is
No,
the
I'm
cockiest
not
SOB
shy.
I ever
No,
met.
no. I had to be.
Let's just say Muji has no problems with the ladies.
They got problems.
He's got a bit of a reputation.
They got problems with me.
Let me tell you something. This guy has got more game than anybody with all of their limbs that I've ever met. So
You just talk. Just talk and be yourself, and people like it.
And Susie Beach still thinks you're hunky. But yeah, hey guys, if you guys have any questions, we got a super chat. So Kelly says, such a spirit lifter you three are. God bless you guys. Mama loves you. So we got a super chat. So usually when we get super chats, we actually, like, I will sing like a silly song or something. But here's the thing. Muji does a little bit of rapping.
I do.
She just did a super chat. What do you got? What do you got for us?
what you got?
All right. How much time do I have?
As much
long
time
as
as
you
you need.
Okay. This is something I wrote a while ago. It was when I was in the hospital. So it's a little after I got over some things. And it's called What How. It goes, now I'm gonna do just what I want now. Anything I want now. Yeah, I lost my legs, but I'm still running shit. You're like, what? How? Yeah, I lost my legs, but I'm still running shit. They're like, what? How does he do what he does, man? This kid's out of his mind. See, they work hard and they do their thing, but you ain't never met nobody with a ground like him. He just had a little boy that looks just like him. And when he's grown up, he gonna be just like him with a crazy drive and have swag for days, and he always have cash because that's his name. My son's name Cash. So he's got crazy drive and have swag for days, and he can always have cash because that's his name. And if he's a little cocky, then I'm to blame because I've been claiming he's the best since the pregnancy test. I don't care who's on the court. He'll be begging for next. I just did it, and now Nike signs my checks. I just did it, and now Nike signs my checks. But I'm the same old dude, old school like the Stone Age, with a crazy drive, road rage. My ambition is second to none, so if you feel like I feel, then you've already won. But be careful, because one is a lonely number. How I got through this shit, you can only wonder. 3 surgeries a week for 2 months straight. Turned 30 in the hospital. They brought me cake. The fam flew from NY just to see my face, and after all that, man, I feel great.
Woohoo! That's a super chat. That is a super chat.
I don't know what a super chat is, but I like it.
And that's a short version. He's got some real long ones that are real good. He's got some great
They
spoken word.
always cut me off and say I got 2 minutes at the time. I'm just gonna keep going when I'm there. I'll do it tonight and see. If you want me to get off, come get me off the stage.
All right. So you said
Awesome.
something about Nike. So tell us what is going on now.
Well, so I was, like I was saying earlier, I was an athlete my whole life. So when I sort of maximize any athletic potential in my regular walking legs, I started to inquire about running prosthetics. And through Next Step Bionics and Prosthetics, I was provided my first pair of running legs. Coincidentally, that I got them on Friday. It'll be 4 years. Yeah, September 19th, 2014, Eastern Standard Time, 11 o'clock. So yeah, I was waiting for him.
I guess so.
And then that Saturday, the 21st, there was a clinic for mobility impaired runners at Harvard University, and so I got them on that Friday, and I wore them all day Friday and Saturday, and showed up at the clinic, and it was a little overwhelming at first, and it was tough. Initially, I had a therapist. I had this big thing wrapped around my waist, the safety belt and all that. So, but by the end of the clinic, a couple hours later, I'm running that up and down the field unassisted. So for me, it was completely liberating because I was an athlete my whole life. I'm used to going fast. I'm used to doing things that are athletic. And for so long, I was confined to a wheelchair or moving slow with a cane or crutch. That being able to go from point A to point B with some relative quickness was addicting to me. I was addicted to the speed. Running, not drugs. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
And so when I went home and I was like, I started looking up, how fast I needed to be to run on the Paralympic team and all this stuff. And I made this sort of schedule. I was going to get up and go work out, figured these things out in a couple hours and blah, blah, blah. So I found sort of an isolated place where I was going to go do my running because I was still a little self-conscious, you know, running around with these little pointies, you know, backwards paper plate looking things that they call blades. And so I found this like sort of isolated field that I was going to work out with, you know, by myself. And I went 6 in the morning, went out there and I put them on and it was impossible. Like I was standing there in this sort of, I don't know if it was the adrenaline or the people cheering at the clinic that made it appear like it was easier than it was. But when I was by myself in this cold field on a fall day, you know, 2014, it was impossible. It felt like it was completely impossible for me. And to make the situation worse, I'm standing there and I hear this sort of wrestling in the bushes. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on here? I'm standing there in these prosthetic legs. I can't move. I can't run. I hear this wrestling. I see this fox just staring at me. I don't know. At the time, it was a smaller fox. It was a little one, but it looked like a mountain lion. It was going to come rip my face off because I knew I couldn't defend myself or I couldn't move. And so we stared each other down for a little bit. And I'm thinking that my only option if he starts running at me is to stand there and fight him because I can't move. And stand here to fight and win. And luckily for me or to him, he turned around and ran away. But what that sort of encounter with him did for me, it was like no matter how hard it was or how difficult it was when I was running, if he had charged at me and attacked me, our only option was to stay there, fight, and to win and continue to do it again. So every time I went to that same feeling, it was the same difficulties. I just thought I have no choice but to get through this workout, no choice but to do it and to stay here and fight and continue to do it over and over. But you fast forward to now, and I'm one of the top sprinters in the world, Paralympic sprinters in the world. I have a apparel sponsorship by Nike, one of the first Paralympic or quote disabled person to be featured on a Nike shirt, ad, anything. So for me, it was always just continue to work hard and continue to do my thing and be myself. And then people want to help people who help themselves. And people ask me how I get to where I am. I just kept working, and people saw that I was working hard and saw that I had a genuine heart of helping people and stuff, and they want to help you. And so when you help yourself, people help you.
Your personality and your drive really shines through when people meet you. You know, I was saying this to him the other night. I met Muji for the first time at the World Burn in 2013 in Rhode Island. He probably doesn't even remember us meeting. I don't think we had a real conversation or anything, but it was more like an introduction. And hey, how are you?
I don't think your hair is pink yet.
My hair was pink. Yeah.
I remember the lady with pink hair. That's what
But I remember just watching him from across the room, and he was in a wheelchair at the time and a little bit overweight. And you were sitting in the wheelchair and you were different. You were distant. You were sad. You looked sad. And there's a certain look that burn survivors or anyone that's been injured or sick has when they haven't gotten to the other side of it. And I know Muji knows what I'm talking about. So he was in the thick of it at the time. He was emotionally in the thick of it. I'm sure he was physically in the thick of it. He was not happy. He was miserable, and it showed on his face. And I remember watching him and meeting him and going, oh, that poor fucker. You know, like, sorry, we're not going to be able to monetize this video. Anyway, but I was like, you looked sad. You looked miserable. You're an amputee. So I was like, I wonder what happened to him. And, you know, you don't ask people unless they want to tell you. You don't pry and ask what happened. I remember somebody saying to me, he was in a car accident and he was a football player. And I was like, oh, Jesus, that's going to suck, you know? And that's just what you think. And fast forward to a year later, I saw him at the next World Burn, no wheelchair, slimmed down, already had some blades. You weren't running or anything because we were inside, but already had some blades, strutting around, cocky as a mofo. Gets up. We have a talent show that we do, right? So he gets up at the talent show. Actually, it wasn't even a talent show. We do something called open mic. Open mic is something that happens usually before, after, and sometimes during mealtime here. People will get up and they kind of give like a testimonial. They tell the story of something that has happened to them in their life. Usually it's about their injury or about their recovery or about their experience at World Burn. So usually you get a couple of minutes. I remember him standing up and getting on the open mic and giving some version of a rap or his story. And it was a little version different than what you just heard. And he went on for a good 4 or 5 minutes, and the room erupted. It was amazing. Usually you get a little polite clap, golf clap when somebody gives their story. The room was standing ovation, cheering. It was amazing. I had tears running down my face. And I will tell you that I watched that. I went, oh, he's definitely turned that corner. And it's something that you watch when people go through their recovery. It's a process. And when people finally find that purpose or find that drive, and they find that within themselves to move forward, to go forward, to get better, to be better, it's the transformation is physically and emotionally palpable, even if nothing changes on the outside. With him, obviously the appearance changed on the outside as well, but you can see it. And I know Muji's nodding because he knows what I'm talking about. You can see it. You can see when someone goes from that point of injury where they're stuck in the middle of it, and then they move on and they reemerge, and it's really inspiring. And that's one of the reasons why I keep coming back here year after year after year and see this transformation happen with people, and hopefully help to be a part of that, because it's amazing.
It really is. And that's the second one that you said, walking around brash and cocky and doing that. That's who I am. That's who I've been my whole life. And so I felt okay to be myself, because it was for the first couple of years I didn't know who I was or what, I didn't know anything. I didn't know if it was okay for me to still be who I was, and it was just too much to handle, really. But then when you do turn that corner, it's very liberating. It's everything, really, because some people never do turn the corner. And
it's true.
So when you do, it's something worth celebrating, and it's worth being that. So that's why I am exactly who I am, and I won't apologize for being supremely confident. Because no, seriously, because when I was in the hospital, when I worked probably about 2 months after my accident, when I actually woke up and could sort of comprehend a little bit what was going on, I didn't. If I could have killed myself, I would have. Like if I had something there that would have killed me, I would have. And the only thing that kept me from doing it was that I was different. I can figure it out. I'm Muji. I can figure this out. And so that's what kept me alive. So I'm not gonna sit here and apologize for being cocky when thinking highly of myself is what the reason I'm still alive. And
that's true. Very true. And I'm glad that you found that within yourself, really. Yep. And you would have been robbing the world of an amazing human being. Truly. There was a young guy that stood up yesterday during open mic, and I'm not going to break any confidentiality or anything, but he's about 1 year post-injury, and I don't think Muji was in the room. He's 1 year post-injury, and he was talking, and I actually want to introduce you to him this week if I can find him. And he was talking about something similar. His first few months, if he could have figured out a way to end it, he would have. He was going to check out. And this is his first World Burn Congress, and it's the first time that he said, I can see that it's going to get better. It may never be good, but it's going to be better, is what he said. And I will tell you that I think the same guy is going to be here in another year, and he'll know that it is good. It is good. He's not there yet. He's taken that first step.
I know exactly what
he's taken that first step. Like, he understands that he's going to be okay, but he still doesn't think life can be good.
You can't comprehend a world where
it's
you'd actually be happy and enjoy
but he'll
life.
Be there. He'll get there. And that's watching people in their journey. It's a very powerful thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, to circle back to the Phoenix Society thing, it creates a venue in a place with resources that fosters that progress. It tries to make you get better. And for me, coming to my first one was life changing for me, because I met people like me. And then the second one was I think that may have been the one that you were talking about. Yeah, that was the one I saw you at. I had gotten over the hill a little bit, but then there was other aspects of life that started getting into things. And then when you go through a traumatic experience, everything is exaggerated. So I was hurting this and that, and then I was, stuff with my business and stuff like that was going wrong, and then in my personal life I was having issues. So it just made everything worse. And having this to come to where I can help people and people can help me. One of my best friend here is Billy Bartlett, and I went to see him in the hospital, and when he went home, he literally had a gun in his mouth and was going to kill himself. And the only reason why he didn't do it was because of the conversations him and I had in the hospital. So helping people and knowing, not even knowing how much you help people is what gives me the purpose in it. Because I went in there and we were cursing each other out. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I walked in the room and I introduced myself, told him to get out of bed. This is when he was in the hospital. And he goes, I'm not getting out of bed, get out of here, something like that. And I said, I just put on legs and I put on thing to come see you, get the fuck out of bed. And I met him, this was 5 minutes after I met him. And he got up out of bed and finally got up and goes, you know what? I think we just became best friends. And so we had the interaction. I stayed there for about an hour, 2 hours and talked to him. And he was literally still in the ICU. So then he fought through it a little bit. Then when he finally was alone by himself, he was still obviously struggling with some things. And that visit and conversation is what kept him from legitimately killing himself. And I tell the story now. There's no confidentiality. He tells, you know, whatever it is, whatever is what it is. If he was here, he would vouch for it. But you don't realize how much you're helping people. Because I was just going in there, you know, thinking could relate to somebody, or because when they came to visit me, that I wasn't. When George came to visit me, I wasn't cured by a long shot. But when he left, I sort of had a little bit of hope. You know, it was a little spark. It was a dim light at the end of the tunnel, but I could see it. And it wasn't a train coming to hit me, but I said, if this guy can figure it out, then maybe I can. And as my attitude changed, I started to realize that positive things started to happen around me. And as those things continued to happen, the confidence that I could ultimately get through it began to grow and grow and grow. So just having somebody to give you that little spark can go a long way, because like I said, there's some people that never get that spark and never get over that hump.
It's true. It's true. And I think it takes other people to get you there.
Yes.
You definitely have to have your own inner strength, but it takes other people. And again, not that I had any injuries, but for me, it was that, you know, I will absolutely tell you that I was suicidal after what happened after the station fire. I absolutely would have eaten a bullet if I could have. And I had a 10-year-old daughter and I was a single mom. And that is the only reason I didn't, was because of her, because I didn't want to do that to my daughter. I didn't care about my friends. I didn't care about my family. And I didn't care about myself. The only thing that kept me from it was her. And the only reason I was able to move forward and move past that guilt and get out of that was because I was able to help other people. I created my charity and put all of my guilt and my pain and my confusion into moving full steam ahead, trying to do what I could to help other people. And that in turn healed me. Me helping other people was what healed me. And if I hadn't had that as an outlet, if I hadn't had those other people to help me and other people that needed my help, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm grateful to the Phoenix Society. I'm grateful to my fellow burn survivors that I've met, because they've helped me. And that's why this will always be a part of my life. And I know that this doesn't have a lot to do with eBay, what we're talking about here today. But for me, I will tell you that eBay is a way of life that allows me to give back to the communities. That means the world to me. I work for myself. I pay my own bills. And it allows me to travel twice a year to volunteer as a camp counselor, which is something I pay to do. I fly myself out there. It's not like I'm getting paid vacation time. I come out here. I pay to fly for myself to come out here to pay for my hotel room, to, food, all that kind of stuff. So that's 2 weeks out of every year that I volunteer. Well, these are my vacations, and it takes small other vacations here and there, but this is what I live to do. 2 weeks out of every year, I will do whatever I can and whatever I have to do. I don't care if it means I need to eat ramen noodles for a month to be able to come and do this, because this is where I need to be. This is my happy place, and these are my people, and this is who I want to be around. And they've never once said to me, well, you don't have any burns, you're not a burn survivor. I don't identify as a burn survivor because I think that it's wrong of me to say that without having gone through the physical part. But I can honestly tell you, I'm a trauma survivor. I'm a PTSD survivor. And I understand the things that burn survivors have gone through in a way that maybe someone that hasn't had that in their life does. Because I spent every day in the ICU with my best friend for 3 months. And I've been with my burn survivor friends through their journey for 15 years. From being that sad person in a wheelchair like Muji was. My friend Joe didn't leave the house for 3 years. He had his mirrors covered in his house for 3 years. And he's an incredibly happy and inspirational person these days now, but it took him a while to get there.
And he's one of my biggest inspirations ever. I mean, I love Joe, and he's man. I can't even talk about how much inspiration and motivation and everything I get from him.
Mm-hmm.
And my son and his daughter probably gonna get married someday.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope.
They like each other. We got pictures of them kissing when they were like 8 months old.
They're 4 now. So.
Yeah. And then Cash goes, kept kissing me. Cash is my son. She kept kissing me and said, Cash, the picture, you have her head. And he's like, she was not kissing you. That was all you.
He's a player like that.
But no, Joe is just a genuine good dude. And I even when I met Joe, I've seen him, me and him a joke and smile, and he's just a person that I draw inspiration from on a daily basis. And I've never even told him that, but it is what it is.
I'm sure he knows that. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's, I look at people and the people that I've met that have the strength, like you, like Joe, like any of my burn survivor friends. I don't have that strength within me. I'll be the first person to tell you, had it been me and not Joe that was injured that way, I would have eaten a bullet. And I know how horrible that sounds, but I'm not strong enough to have withstood what he did. I know that of myself. And maybe a part of me believes that there's a reason why I wasn't hurt that way. I'm going to try not to get emotional here, but it's because I was spared that so that I was able to be here to help people. Because what I did and what my other friends did when we helped create our foundation to help other burn survivors and family members, there was no one else to do that. There was no state funding. There was no federal funding. There were hundreds of people that were injured and had no means of financial survival. And we were able to do that because we were okay. And not to say that people wouldn't have survived somehow, but I think I was put here and spared to be able to pay it forward, to be able to help people, I was given that reality check for a reason. I'm not that same selfish person I was 15 and a half years ago. I will tell you that. You survived
and then you saved lives.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put it, whatever way you want to put it, you survived and you saved lives and you kept people alive.
I tried.
This might not have anything technically to do with like eBay or reselling or like anything like that, but it's like our whole philosophy that we build like our channel on and our Facebook group is the whole like boss up philosophy. So you don't know about this, but we say our group's called Boss. Mm-hmm. We say boss up. And the whole idea of boss up is that you take control of your life, your destiny, your success. It's all about you. It's what you have control of. And you can't blame other people or other things. It's, if you want to succeed, you have to take control of that. But at the same time, we're here for each other to build each other up and to help each other. And so I think that this is just like an extreme example of what that kind of attitude can do.
I don't know anybody else who has ever bossed up as much as this dude. So, right. He fits right in.
No, but the good or bad, what you're saying in your life, good or bad, where you at, I've always taken ownership. And there's been times where I've been down in the dumps, times where everything. I've always taken ownership for where I am and what I was. No blame to anybody else, no resentment to anybody else. I'm my own person. I can do things on my own. I can do what I want. And sometimes it's a lot of you'll see a lot of people blaming other people when they're not where they want to be and stuff like that. But anything you try to do, it starts with relatability and genuine relationships. And whether some of the most genuine people I've met in my life was through my burns. Some of the opportunities I've had, I wouldn't be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I wouldn't have been in Anaheim. I wouldn't, all of these things that I've had, traveling internationally, to run and tracks, all of these things happened because of my accident. So really was it an accident? And that's what I started to think to myself, because I was like you, I'm one of 7, single mom. I was all making money. Got my management, got all my series license and all that. So I'm doing that. And at the time of my accident, and now that's so far-fetched. Like I couldn't. I guess I'll be eating ramen here with you. If that was, if that's what it was, I would spend my last dime to come here. But
the success is coming with the drive.
But that's what it is. And as it's happening, it's inspiring people and helping people live better lives. And
you can do both.
Without any blueprint, just doing you and genuinely doing you, you create an aura about you that people want to be around. So that's why you're really good at being yourself. So don't try to be anybody else. And I think that's where I was when you saw me the year after. I was confused on, should I even be smiling? Like, is it okay for me? Like, it was just so much going on. And then going there, people like you in the Phoenix side, that's the reason I'm able to thrive today. And I never was. They told me I couldn't walk, and I told them I was going to run. So I said I don't have to walk to run. And I was literally 2 days after I woke up from my coma. So it's always been there. I guess the cockiness has always been there, but putting everything together and actually doing it with a whole team is what it is. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Joe, Carrie, like everybody with George. I wouldn't even be close to where I am. And so those relationships to me are what drive everything. So I don't have to, regardless of what I'm selling or if I was trying to do anything, I could go up to George and he would buy it. I could go up to any of my burn survivors that I met and they'd buy it because they know me. So it's not about what it is, it's about who you are and the genuine heart that you have.
Absolutely.
That absolutely comes through.
So we got another
questions?
super chat. One heck of a thrifter who's in North Carolina needs a super chat that she missed a couple Sundays ago because she did like we missed it.
Stay safe.
But
hurricane. Okay.
do you have another wrap?
I got some. I'll do the one that you just talked about.
All right, guys, we're getting a super chat wrap for one heck of.
This is actually this one has actually been on the radio and stuff. It's called Other Side, and there's a guy that sings the chorus and stuff, and it goes. I'm the night rider. We're going fast in the whip. I might fly by you. First report, they said it was a tree fire. Closer look, you see the skid marks from the tigers. Fire's blazing. I've been a beast, but now I'm really caged in. Went from having fun and enjoying my life to being rescued by the jaws of life. Funny how things change in a short amount of time. Cardiac arrest, I only got a short amount of time. I just want to talk to mom and assure her that I'm fine, but I don't know if that's the case because I'm on a flat line in the back of the ambulance on my way to Brigham. Brigham was the hospital. The only thing I remember is the fireman saying, I can't believe that crash didn't kill him. And the other one said, well, you don't know, he might be dead. He had burns all over, plus he cracked his head. Now I'm in critical condition on the ER bed. They asked me if I saw the other side. Well, I believe I did. And then the chorus is a guy singing, and I'm not going to sing, I'm just going to say it. They said, do you want to know what it's really like to be the one on the other side? When you need a little saving me, then you'll know just what I mean. And it goes, bright lights, I'm waking up from a deep sleep one night. You know, it's been about 3 weeks in a coma, smelling hospital aroma. Got friends everywhere, I ain't never been alone. Waiting room was packed with so many visitors. I told the doctor, wait, I need just a minute because I can't feel my feet. She said, they're not there. I'm shaking my head, this shit is not fair. Thinking, why me? But like Ali, I'm the greatest. I'm here because God chose me, and he never gives a man more than he can handle. So I'll suck it up and let it burn like a candle. Everything will be okay. The doc tried to persuade me. I'm like, cut the shit and get that prosthetic lady. And if she went home, have her call me, maybe. Time to put in work, and I ain't never been lazy. Doing arm raises, tried to stay jacked. I was on the other side, and I made it back. And it's the chorus again. Do you want to know what it's really like to be the one on the other side? When you need a little saving me, then you'll know just what I mean. And the last verse is, still doesn't seem real. Still doesn't seem real. Feels like I'm in a movie. I just want to get back to the old Muji and do the things I used to. But it ain't all bad. I started in the ER, and now I'm in the rehab. And in no time, I was back on my feet, racing up and down the halls like I'm in a track meet. And that was literally in 2012 when I read it. And now I'm one of the top sprinters in the world. Racing up and down the halls like I'm in a track meet, impressing the staff. I look back and laugh because the first doc said it'd be a year and a half before I walked again. 5 months later, we had a meeting in his office. I walked in. He's like, wow, are you surprised with the stride that you make? I said, no, doc, when I wake up, I expect to be great. When you're good, you'll do it till you get it right. But to be great, you'll do it till you can't get it wrong. And that year and a half was too long. Bench 1,000 pounds mentally. My head is that strong. Came from my heart, every word in the song. Look at the glass half full when something goes wrong. And have no fear.
Yay! That was awesome.
And you still brought tears to my eyes 6 years later.
Crybaby cookie pants over here. That was awesome. So speaking of, what's happening next? What are you working on? What race are you working toward?
Well, last year I didn't run. I won the was it the silver and the bronze at the U.S. Nationals and the 1 and 200 meter in 2017. This year I had a back injury, and I wasn't able to run. But now I'm finally healthy. I put some things together. I was doing a lot of work for everybody else, so I started my own Muji Blades LLC, which is
the shirts, which are for sale at the link down below. If you want one of these shirts, they're awesome.
And what it is I was doing a lot of work for other people, and I was doing this and doing that and getting pulled in so many ways. So I just wanted to do my own thing. And so if you want me to do something, we're gonna do it my way, and I'm not gonna be pulled in a bunch of directions. And I also gonna have the Muji Blades Foundation. It's gonna be a charity that initially is just gonna help burn survivors and help amputees monetarily. And as it grows, how I imagine, I eventually want it to be something that's based around younger kids, getting them active, getting them running, getting prosthetics for little kids. Because if you give a child the opportunity to do it, it'll change them. I mean, you can teach a 30-year-old. It's a lot easier to teach a 30-year-old humility than it is to teach them how to believe in themselves if they hadn't all their life. And to me, kids, I like kids. I like being able to help kids, because adults, you either figure it out or you don't. But you can be the reason whether the kid figures it out or not. And so the charity, it's all just giving back stuff. And so I'm trying to create the biggest platform I can. And hopefully it's going to be in 2 years at the Olympics when I'm standing at the podium with a gold medal, that I can go on a show and just talk about what these guys mean to me and raise money and awareness for burn survivors and amputees. And it's just genuinely, like you said, it gives me a purpose. It makes sense now. Like, I wouldn't be in Tokyo running in the Paralympics if I wasn't in this accident. So was it really an accident? And to me, I've become a completely more compassionate person. I consider myself cocky, but that's different from being arrogant, because arrogant to me is when you think you're better than people. And I don't never think I'm better than anybody. I just think highly of myself. And that's that's the difference to me. And
I feel you.
And having that.
I think that's Katie.
No, seriously, why wouldn't you? Because it's a famous Linkin Park lyric. Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced that the world's too much to take. Because you have every single reason to be sad. You have every single reason to mope and be down. So why not feel good about yourself? Why not take a picture and say, I'm a good-looking dude? You know what I mean? I'm feeling myself right now.
Dude, because he's got an 8-pack, ladies. If you go check out his page, you'll occasionally follow him on Facebook or something. He's pretty freaking jacked.
But also too, that goes full circle, because for a year I wore hoodies and sweatpants because I was ashamed. The first year I met you, you were wearing a hoodie and sweatpants. I was ashamed of my scars. I was ashamed of this. I was ashamed to have prosthetics. And so it's come full circle. And I always take pictures. You'll see me on a thing. Like, this guy's a maniac. He has his shirt off. He's flexing. He's this and that. But there was a time where I wouldn't do that. And then it's a huge thing for burn survivors that aren't comfortable showing them scars. So if they see somebody that they have looked up to in myself, and I'm there, and you see me with my legs off, and this is all weird looking, and my arms off. So then it is okay. You can still be who you are. You can still be an attractive person. You can still be this, and that attractive is subjective to whoever it is. You know what I mean? Right. It is what it is, and
very true.
And you'll see once you show that confidence and conviction in yourself, then
you're a million times more attractive to people.
You have any options you want, and so to me, it's not. Becoming myself is what people are attracted to. So when I'm not myself, you probably won't like me. And so I'm me all the time. And having my I have the guy that I was doing stuff with for Nike. He sent me a message, dude, take your shirt off in one of these. Start taking your shirt off in these pictures. And that
you sexy beast.
No, seriously, that's what I said, because you're confident about it, and you have these scars and stuff all here, and you just do it. And he said that's literally what we want and what we need, and so surprise us still.
I think confidence is like the most attractive feature in anybody.
It is.
And the man and the woman, it doesn't have to do with the makeup, the hair, the high heels, the size 2. It doesn't matter. It's
all icing on the cake. If you don't have the cake made right, everything else doesn't
slides right off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got all kinds of super chats coming. I just want to say real quick. B Tornhart, B super chatted $10. What? Red Robin reseller. I'm late, unfortunately, going through some things right now. Need this. I'm quite emotional now. Already inspired. Much love. Super awesome.
That's my internet hug.
Super awesome. Melissa Cape, thank you so much for spending time with us. Muji, Wildcats mom, class of 2020.
Oh, wow.
And Barbara Colson is going through some health issues right now, and this is beyond inspiring. And she says, thanks so much for sharing your story. So thank you guys so much. We'll see if we got something at the end of this.
Wildcats is UNH. I went to UNH.
That's where you went. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it looks like she's got a kid there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if we can bust out something else at the end here for all the super chats. And also Barbara wanted to know if you know, I don't know how to pronounce this, CL Lange, a friend of hers who's a Paralympic discus thrower and power lifter. He lost vertebrae and parts of his legs in a car accident years ago. I don't know if you know. I don't know how well you know all the other people.
Like, is it a big? I'm sure it's a big.
It is, but it's some of them Winter Olympics, and we have the Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics, so it's all different. But if he throws something, then I would probably notice him, like recognize him if he came in or we saw each other, because it's track and field, and so at the same stuff that I've done, he's been there.
Gotcha.
So I don't know him per se by name, but I probably would recognize him.
Yeah, it looks like everybody really is finding your story pretty inspirational, and which is awesome because
it's kind of hard not to, right?
Yeah.
I knew that when we were going to be here this week that I was going to convince him to come and do the show because, like I said, I know it's the community that I'm a part of, and he's incredibly inspirational to me. But I think it crosses every genre, every socioeconomic area. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that necessarily that he is a burn survivor or an amputee or an athlete. I just think it's Muji as a person is inspiring. He has an inspiring story. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has something that they need to overcome in their life, whether it's in their own head or it's physical or medical or emotional, whatever it may be. Everybody has struggles in varying degrees. And it's not to say that, someone else's story is more difficult than yours, because whatever's happening in your life is the most difficult thing for you. And everything is relative.
I got a secret for you guys. So, none of us are getting out of this alive. None of us. Okay. So no matter how great your life is, how lucky you are throughout your life, at some point we all have to face challenges and obstacles. And so I think no matter what, Muji's story is going to help us and inspire us. And
so we have a little bit of a lower viewership today. We have 60 something people watching live right now, and I do think it's because we're about 3 hours earlier than we normally are. So I think we're going to get several thousand views throughout the next week or two, the way this the rotation goes on YouTube, and maybe even more after that. I think it's the stuff doesn't go away, so it continually gets viewed.
Teresa just gave her first super chat ever.
What?
970.
970.
She said she even got up to get her credit card.
That's awesome.
But listen, hey, so Muji does have a website. It's mujiblades.com, right? Yeah. So
all my everything, story, everything you need to know about me.
Muji is Muji Blades, Blades.
Yeah, and I linked it down below, and he also has like these really awesome Nike hoodies. And I think you have a new version that's going to be coming out too, but you should check it out.
I got a Nike hoodie. I got to get it from him today, actually.
Are you on Instagram?
I am. Muji Blades on Instagram, and my other one is MK Special 12, but Muji Blades on Instagram. I'll
add that below. Muji Blades on Instagram. Do you post shirtless pictures there?
He does.
Okay, so
he does.
So ladies,
probably more on Instagram.
There's more on the other one too. It's MK Special.
All right, I'll link both of them. Guys, you gotta follow him because
he's some eye candy, girls. Let me tell you, and guys, no judgment.
Yeah, no judgment.
He'll take his shirt off for anybody. You don't care.
Take my shirt off so the next burn survivor feels comfortable taking theirs off.
That's right.
And also that I like having my shirt off. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the shirtless Saturdays, but no pants Friday.
There we go. Shirtless Saturday. There you go. That'll be your YouTube show.
That's exactly what
Shirtless Saturday.
Yeah, totally.
And all your guests have to come on with no shirts.
Yes.
So that's a way to get half-dressed women on your show. See, I got a whole new angle for you.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, everybody, if anybody has any questions for Muji or for us, we'd love to answer them. So bust them out right now before we wrap
I can't
up
see
the
the
show.
chat, so has there been other questions?
There's been a lot of people just commenting on being super inspired and stuff. Not a lot of questions.
And don't be shy, because Muji's clearly not shy. So don't hold back. If you have a question, ask it. I know he doesn't mind whatever it is.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Susie Beach says that Muji, you are hilarious. And Red Robin Reseller says mad props to you and Vicky for all that you do. Oh, and Big Drift Drift, Allison said I just took my shirt off. Woo! Quite freeing, really.
She's ready.
And Red Robin says following both on Instagram right now. So say your Instagram, both of them again.
It's Muji Blades is the business one, and another one is MK Special.
MK 12. Special 12.
1-2.
All right, 1-2.
12.
Awesome. And Teresa says, in honor of Muji, I'm going to work all day without my shirt.
All right. You're inspiring women across the country already
to take their shirts off.
To take their shirts off.
I didn't know it was that kind of party, but I'm okay with it.
Super awesome, you guys. All right. Do you have any more raps left in you?
I think he should take us out with that last rap.
You got one more?
One that I did already, or what? No.
Do you have a new one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys.
This is the one where you'll see how cocky I really am.
Yeah, this is for all the super chats that have come since. Thank you guys so much. And Muji's gonna bust us out of here with his last rap.
Okay. I was down for a while, but now I'm back up. And I don't mean like running with the twos. I mean like every other week I'm on the news. The paper's got me front page running in my new blades. Competition, they don't stand a chance. Do they? That's just me talking to myself because I'm the fastest dude around. I'm just consulting with myself. A little cocky, I know. But the champ is in my body just like Ali and Rocky. And if the crash couldn't do it, how the fuck do you stop me? I don't know. Neither do you. Real recognize real in the moment of truth. And I see you. Spent 2 months in ICU. Switch positions. You be me and I'll be you. And I bet you couldn't walk in my shoes for a minute. It don't matter what story you use or how you spin it. I'm a beast. Just put me in the wild. Made these fake legs look like a new style. Wow.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Remember to follow this channel. Join the Boss Facebook group if you don't already.
I'm going to start following this.
All right.
I can talk to you guys.
Follow Muji on Instagram. I will put those accounts in the description down below if you didn't catch it when he was telling you guys.
And if this show doesn't deserve a thumbs up, I don't know what the hell does. So, you know.
I have no choice but to keep a thumbs up. Doctor. No choice. That's why I'm always happy. You know?
Thumbs up.
In a thumbs up.
Thanks, guys. Have an awesome weekend. We're going to be back in Vegas on Sunday. Our show's going to be later than normal, but pay attention. We will have a show after we get home, Sunday live haul. We won't be showing really much of a haul.
We got a few things, but we'll probably just be doing more of our solds and, you know, answering some more questions, that kind of thing. So,
yep. So, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
Muji, thanks for coming.
Thank you guys for the opportunity.
We'll see you guys later. Boss
up.
What's up?